Hello everyone, it is Nick from Nick's Flicks Fix here, joined by Tom Cruise and the cast of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. And it's 2025, and in the classic new year, new me sort of mentality, I'm gonna do more long form videos on the YouTube channel, not just the monthly movie marathon podcast that I do with Peter. One of the videos I wanted to do was go through some recent Blu-ray hauls. This time of year is a physical media collector's dream. We've got the Black Friday sales, we've got Christmas where you're getting Blu-rays as gifts. And then in Australia, we have Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, all the sales that happen there. Which thank you to everyone who bought me a JB Hi-Fi gift card for Christmas, because that's how I was able to grab a lot of these. And as you can tell, I'm a lover and collector of physical media, so it's super important to me to have all of these movies here, and these are movies that predominantly that I love from the last year or so. And we'll kick things off with my Black Friday pickups. So these are the ones just before Christmas throughout the Black Friday sales. Black Friday has only sort of become like a bigger thing in Australia over the last few years, but I'm not complaining because I got a lot of these Blu-rays super cheap. And I opted more for Blu-rays than 4Ks. My current setup at the moment isn't quite up to scratch with 4K HDR quality. So Blu-rays suffice, and they're about $8 cheaper, so I could get more. And over time, if I want to upgrade these ones, I will. But these are the Black Friday Blu-ray pickups that I got. Starting with Longlegs. This is one of my favorite horror films of the year from one of my favorite actors, Nicolas Cage, who gives a hell of a performance. Really loved this film. I loved Twisters. I had such a great time with this in the cinema. It was genuine blockbuster excitement, but it kind of had a lot of heart to it as well, and I really liked that. And I'm excited to watch it again at home. You're going to see a lot of horror on this list. Immaculate, which I think is such an underrated horror film from the year. Fantastic performance from Sydney Sweeney. Jaw-dropping final scene of the film. And if you haven't had a chance, I got to talk to Alvaro Morte, who is the lead actor in the film opposite Sydney Sweeney. That interview's over at NovaStream now, so you can go check it out. This was easily one of my favorite movies of the year coming out of the cinema. I haven't had a chance to rewatch it yet, so I'm really keen to dig into challenges. This was just a lot of fun. And again, talking about closing scenes of films, this is probably an all-timer. Now, I am definitely guilty of buying movies even if I didn't love them. I did have a lot of fun with Trap. It's not great. The first half of the movie, I was completely on board with this. It loses its way a bit towards the end, but this is one that I'm kind of excited to show more people as it goes on. A brilliant directorial debut from Zoe Kravitz with Blink Twice. This, I think, is an incredible thriller. Great performance from Channing Tatum, great performance from Naomi Ackie. And Zoe Kravitz just solidified herself to me as a filmmaker who I'm really excited to see more of what she does. So I'm keen to rewatch this one as well. I've had my eye on the After Sun Blu-ray for a while now, and I waited till it was cheap enough to pick up. It was quite expensive for a while here in Australia, but this is a gut punch of a movie. It's incredible though. I'm so excited when Paul Mescal was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in this because it's absolutely deserving. I'm trying to get my partner to watch this one, but she knows how sad it is, so we're just waiting for the right time to put it back on. Criminally Underseen at the theaters, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, one of my favorite movies of the year, a brilliant prequel to Fury Road. And in a just world, Chris Hemsworth is in awards talk for his performance in this film. I probably feel more guilty about this one than Trap, but I had a good time, a smashingly good time with Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. I've got all the MonsterVerse movies on Blu-ray and Steelbook already, and I wasn't going to pass up the chance to add this to the collection, but I'm actually kind of keen maybe to have a few beers and check this one out again. Similar to After Sun in the vein of Sadness, The Iron Claw, which how no one in this cast got nominated for any awards like Oscars or anything is criminal. But this is an incredibly tough movie to watch, but it's brilliantly made and has amazing performances. And the last of my Black Friday pickups was Bad Boys Ride or Die. If you on this channel go to the Bad Boys Ride or Die monthly movie marathon podcast episode, you'll know how much I love this movie. I'm an adoring fan of this franchise, and I really like this one. I still think Bad Boys for Life is the best of the four, but there is a lot to love about this one. Now, there was a movie I did pick up that wasn't part of the sale per se, but this is my favorite movie of the year. I love the slipcover case it came with, and that's The Substance. There was no chance I wasn't picking this up. Now, this is getting a 4K release this year in Australia, but I actually really prefer this slipcase cover, and then there's also the traditional cover on there as well. The 4K cover is Demi Moore's face, which is great. Demi Moore has a great face. Actually, that's, I think, the cover of the 4K right there. But I love this one. I love the simplicity of it. I love that green contrast. So there's no chance I wasn't picking this up. 5-star movie, by the way. And another 5-star movie, and I have to thank my mate Josh from Film Notions for organizing the pickup for this one, but he ordered me a copy of Bird Eater. This is the Umbrella release, another slip case, which is awesome through there. And then I do love that case there as well. But This was a 5-star movie for me. I went into this one blind at the Brisbane Film Festival, and it was a 5-star movie for me. It's on Netflix now, but I implore you, definitely, if you love physical media, go out and pick up a copy of Bird Eater. Now we move on to the Christmas gifts. Now these are 3 movies I got for Christmas from my partner's brother, Tom. I sent a list of movies around to the family, and he came through with 3 movies for me, which is very generous. So thank you very much, Tom. But we're going to start with The Apprentice. Sebastian Stan is just unreal in this film. The transformation from like a young, more mild-mannered, if you could say that, Donald Trump, to what we see in like the 1990s Donald Trump is a insane performance. This is a great movie, and I love the way Ali Abbasi, the director, uses different film formats to tell the story as time goes on. It's a chaotic film, but it's a really, really great performance. Dev Patel's directorial debut, Monkey Man, has some insane action in it. I didn't love it as much as everyone else did. I think it was a bit too long, but I love his use of Indian religion and mythology to be the basis for this incredible story. And the action scenes are pretty insane. Very John Wick reminiscent. And one of the many times, or only times I cried in a theater this year, was The Wild Robot. The beautiful animated film. I think it is just such a touching story about parenthood from the guy who made How to Train Your Dragon, Chris Sanders. And that interview is also over at NovaStream if you want to see me talk to the director of The Wild Robot. But please, if you have not seen this, this is pretty much the best animated movie of the year. Now, these are the Boxing Day pickups. So these were all like in bundles of buy 2, get 1 free, and like 30% off Blu-rays as well. So I always get trapped in those buy 2, get 1 frees because, you know, once you got 2, you may as well get another one. And these are all movies that I really loved as well. Starting with one that's going to go into my Christmas rotation, The Holdovers. This movie is just a warm blanket. It is full of heart. It's so funny. And I think it has one of the greatest film insults of all time.
Hardy, I have known you since you were a boy. So I think I have the requisite experience and insight to aver that you are and always have been penis cancer in human form.
Rose Glass's follow-up to Saint Maud, which is another movie I loved, Love Lies Bleeding. This is a gritty, dirty crime film that I think is just goes to places that I didn't expect it, but really pulls off this odd, almost supernatural type thing towards the end. But brilliant performances from Katie O'Brien and Kristen Stewart, and especially Ed Harris, who is creepy as hell in this role. It would be criminal if I didn't upgrade my favorite film of all time to 4K, and that's exactly what I did with The Departed. I love this movie. I've spoken about this movie so many times in so many different ways. Insane film. Can't wait to watch it on 4K. This was a sleeper hit, and I think it's starting to get the appropriate word of mouth it deserves. Strange Darling is very... Go in as blind as possible. That's all I can say. Go in as blind as possible. It's a cat and mouse serial killer film. Fucking brilliant. It's not often you get to say these 2 words together, but this movie has the funniest cum fart of all time, and that's Dream Scenario. Super interesting concept. Again, my boy Nick Cage, who I love. If I ever get the chance to interview him, that is the bucket list. Or that is the top of the bucket list for that one there. But super interesting concept. I think really well pulled off. Went in directions I didn't expect it. A very interesting dissection of what happens to someone who gets viral fame who doesn't know what to do with it. And I think it's such a fun movie in that regard. I'm excited to rewatch Anatomy of a Fall because people loved this film. 5 stars across the board. And I saw it in like a later night Biff session, and I was kind of already festival fatigued out by that point. So I do want to watch it again because I know what I was watching was great, but I just wasn't hit by it as hard. So this is definitely one I'm keen to rewatch and see what my opinion of it is like. One of the funniest delivery of any line of a movie in 2024 was in Abigail, and Dan Stevens goes, "Those are fucking onions."
I'm telling you, she's gonna see you coming.
No, debate is over. Decision made, okay?
I got him!
Sammy, those are fucking onions.
Well...
This is a fun as hell movie. The Radio Silence guys are doing some of the best like fun horror films out there, like this and Ready or Not and Scream 5 and 6. I got to interview the main cast and Radio Silence for this film. They're all over at NovaStream, but I'm excited to rewatch this. This is a really fun horror film. Hate all you want, but I'm a sucker for a good rom-com, and I had a great time with Anyone But You. I just think it's hilarious. I think it's really sweet. It's really funny. I like the amount of raunch that's in it. Just an exceptional time. I think Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney have such electric chemistry on screen. It was just hard not to be completely in love and attracted to both of them. So that's a win for me, and I'm excited to rewatch it. It's funny that I got this movie in the Boxing Day one, not the Black Friday sales, but Thanksgiving, because this has one of the funniest and goriest Black Friday scenes. The opening scene of this film is wild, but it's such a fun whodunit horror. I'm super excited that there's a sequel. I'm just kind of hoping they do it justice. But this is, if you're a horror hound or a gore hound and you haven't checked out Thanksgiving, this one's a lot of fun. And the final movie, possibly the most controversial pickup, because I was an avid defender of this movie when it came out in 2023. The Exorcist Believer. I liked this movie. I liked it a lot. I like what David Gordon Green mostly did with the Halloween trilogy. And I liked what he did here. I think there's some truly creepy moments. I'm a sucker for religious horror too. Had some good jump scares, but I genuinely think this is a far better movie than people probably realize. It's one of those ones where I think in a few years from now, people will go, oh yeah, I really like The Exorcist Believer. And then we have it. Those are my Black Friday and Boxing Day pickups, plus a few Christmas gifts thrown in there. More long form videos coming to the YouTube very soon. I'll have my favorite movies of 2024. Plus I'm going to go through some interview highlights from 2024 and talk about those. So be on the watch out for those. And as always, the monthly movie marathon podcast is on this channel. You can watch me and Peter Gray talk about movies leading up to a big release every month. We've got Bridget Jones coming up in the February edition. Check out my Instagram, NextFlixFix, all my interviews and reviews over at novastream.com.au. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.